Just answering questions with waptek. Let's get to the one that'll be the title of the video because everybody desperately wants my opinion on this. I did a video pointing out that the Havana syndrome, as it was originally described, was called a sonic attack. It was based on the sound people heard, and it was associated with them feeling sick. Please understand the brown note, no matter how much you want Cartman to poop himself, doesn't work. Also, it should be pointed out that sonic weaponry isn't really a real thing in most cases, but it can be. And the video recording I did, the YouTube video, was me getting the actual recording of what was heard, it's supposed to be the sonic attack, and then debunking it, just like everybody did within 2 days, by finding out what bug the noise was caused by. And I put a copy of the recording and another one over the top of it, and it made an almost identical sound. And I compare it in the video. That's all the video does. It says the sonic attack has been debunked because it was bugs. Then even the mainstream media in the United States and other countries decided to jump on it and say, no, it wasn't a sonic attack. It was a microwave attack. But microwaves don't make sound like that, or don't have the ability to do it in any conventional way. Oh, shut up. We're trying to make a story. And it became a microwave attack. The video only debunks the idea that the sound is anything other than bugs. And this was asked and answered really quickly by the people in Havana who have to put up with it every year. Since 2014, up to May or June 2021, 130 U.S. personnel have reported symptoms that are being described as Havana syndrome. Havana syndrome is a bullshit diagnosis because it doesn't have specific symptoms, diagnosis isn't done, there isn't any attempt to find out what's medically wrong with any of these individuals, and when they actually do this, they find inconsistent information that says it's not one single problem, or they find that the people are not atypical. Atypical means that you're different compared to people of your age group who've gone through the same life or similar lifestyle. No, they're totally typical and they don't have anything medically wrong with them. Period. But the discussion brings up brain damage, and then specifically white matter tract abnormalities. White matter tract abnormalities can apply to many things, and is not specific, but let's list them. Wallerian degeneration of neurons, and then it goes off on a tangent I can't pronounce. Next, having a first episode of schizophrenia and psychosis that has never been treated medically, meaning that you have paranoid delusions or you're schizophrenic, can cause the same problems when you examine a brain by doing a scan. White matter tract abnormalities. And then finally, brain injury, persistent headache symptoms caused by mild traumatic head injury by impact. But these people didn't have impact. So that narrows it down to Wallerian degeneration of neurons caused by, and then there's a litany of things that can cause it, including viral infections, or being exposed to leaded gasoline in Havana, Cuba, and being a schizophrenic and being untreated. It's schizophrenia. It's brain damage caused by environmental factors, lead, gas. Having a head injury and not acknowledging it, or in one person's case, having a ski accident, not being able to cover it under insurance, and then requesting to have early retirement due to the psionic attack by radio signals, because sonic attack isn't radio signals. And again, immediately after this happened in Havana, Cuba, everybody in the area said, it's the bugs making that noise. Then they kept saying sonic attack when they meant radio signals. And then after that, it kept getting stupider. And it's 130 people over 7 years. It's like 20 a year or less. Mass hysteria. Now, there's a specific individual. It's the only one I could find that's referenced to being in Russia at all and having this problem. I'm sure there are more, but this was a recent story. He claimed that in 2017, he had something happen while he was in Moscow, Russia, in December, that made him have an incredible sense of nausea. His ears were ringing and he was keeling over. So he retired, medical retirement from the CIA after working as a spy in Moscow, Russia. And he now treats this horrible migraines that he has with acupuncture and art therapy. I spent a decade off and on having blinding headaches from an actual head trauma, an impact to the back of the head affecting the visual cortex. Caused visual aura type migraines that would literally make me feel like I was going to throw up. I heard noises. My eyes were blurry. Half the vision was cut off in the right eye for like this side and then on this side too. So the left half of both eyes was dead, or the right half, or whatever. So he's getting art therapy and acupuncture. How precious. James Bond, he is not. Meanwhile, people who actually piss off the Russians end up being video recorded on a plane screaming in mortal agony as they're being killed by being poisoned, that Russia completely complains that we didn't do that when it was found in the person's bloodstream, and obviously it was done by the Russians, and it's literally Vladimir Putin attacking an enemy. Meanwhile, somebody who was literally dead-ass working, supposedly, as a spy in Moscow, Russia, isn't dead. But hey, he gets a medical discharge from the CIA, and he can retire, and he gets extra benefits because he has migraines. And the proof of it is because he makes artwork and gets acupuncture once a week. This is the only one that's referenced at all to have happened in Russia. So let's review. The microwave hypothesis is an implausible bullshit statement science fiction according to a bunch of people. I'm just going to throw that out there, but if you read the Wikipedia article, it references that at least once. Next, the original claim of it being a sonic weapon and then a microwave weapon while still calling it a sonic weapon makes it dubious. Next, brain damage is vaguely referred to, and when you look up what they specifically claim, white matter tract abnormalities, the most likely outcome is people who work in an environment, every embassy is like this, of being paranoid professionally. I'm a professional paranoid. I'm supposed to be paranoid for your benefit as a security geek. They are showing signs of schizophrenia, psychosis, and having headaches. It's either a brain injury, mild one, from a head impact like I had. This is considered mild. I don't know how you do that, but yeah, blinding headaches. Or they're showing signs of untreated schizophrenia that's organically induced. Or Wallerian degeneration. That came up like 3 times, so I'm including it even though I don't know what the fuck it refers to. But all of this refers to stuff that you should be able to diagnose. Oh, it's white matter tract abnormalities. That's a hand wave. What caused it? Where is it? What part of the brain is that happening in? And they don't answer. They just say it's brain damage. Totally true. Pay him his retirement benefits. This is about 130 U.S. personnel that decided to leave their posts for medical reasons and decided to blame it on something associated with their job so that they could leave and get something out of it. They retired. Or not. I mean, some of them are like that. But the only one brought up about Russia, art therapy? So that's the background on all this. And again, the video originally was just debunking the sonic weapon bullshit story for the umpteenth time by then. And that's a re-upload. It's a very old video. Bullshit. Those same insects are not in Russia when the same attack was done. Counterpoint. I'm debunking only the one in Cuba. Why are you bringing up Russia? And again, there's only one human being associated in Russia. It's a guy who's bucking to get a medical discharge and medical benefits. That's what's going on. He has all the signs of either having schizophrenia that's untreated or just a brain injury because he went skiing and hit his head. That's probably what happened. Not saying anything. Yes, I am. Or some other degeneration of the memory of the brain that will eventually cause him to have L-Dopa needed until he turns into a statue. Why only now are we hearing about these bugs causing this type of damage? No, it wasn't damage. And it was the original claim back in 2014, and my video is very old, and you didn't look at the first line that says it's a re-upload. Logical thinking is all it takes to see that this is something they are still trying to figure out and coming out with weak excuses. No, that was the excuse for the sound, which is the whole point of the video. It has nothing to do with Russia. And you bringing up Russia doesn't work because it's only one incident. We're talking a 7-year period of time where we have 130 people making medical claims so that they can get discharges and help. They might have become schizophrenic. They might have been exposed to bad quality air in Havana, Cuba, for crying out loud. They might have been in Russia and honestly decided they just didn't want to be in this job anymore. All of them had medical problems that were vague, or maybe they're suffering from beginning stages of having Alzheimer's, which is one of the other things that can cause it. There's a dozen things that can cause this. Having a specific type of viral infection from a normally benign infection can cause all of these symptoms, and they don't go away for a while. Like a decade. And again, the guy hit his head while skiing. But he couldn't get benefits for it, so he said it was work-related. Havana syndrome. And the media play it up because you type in Havana syndrome into the title of a video you put up on your website, suddenly people give a shit about what NBC says. Next, a person asked me a simple set of questions about a specific thing, the Barthold LB122. I had to look up what that is. It's not familiar. It's a radiation detector for beta and gamma contamination. If you're not aware of it, when an atom is unstable, it doesn't have to split. But if an atom splits, or if an atom changes from one isotope to another of the same atom, it releases radiation and also pieces the atom fly away. Now, the radiation lists are alpha, beta, and gamma rays. Gamma rays are radio signals, the crack the whip effect of the part that comes out, disrupting the atom and producing essentially a radio signal, a really intense, high frequency. Frequency is the main important thing. It can be very low intensity, but it's releasing a ray of energy in a straight line or not, but it is able to be detected as gamma rays. X-rays can be released too, blah, blah, blah. Beta and alpha refer to particles coming off of the atom that's losing pieces. Beta decay and gamma decay are different. And alpha decay, something dark side. Anyway, I'm not going to try to sound really intelligent about this. The point is, that's a detector that picks up 2 out of 3 or more forms of signal. Gamma rays go through a lot of shit. Alpha rays don't. They both make a clicking noise on a detector. Some of the detectors don't differentiate. The ones that do should tell you that the alpha rays probably aren't very dangerous because they can't get through a sheet of paper. Some of them are very intense, but still get stopped by the paper. Some of them are very intense gamma rays to where it cook you like a burger. Some are very low intensity. But the detection of a click, count per second, doesn't tell you how intense it is unless you have that as well as a reading. Next. The detectors are based on their surface area. If you get a big detector, you're going to get a lot more clicks because it makes at least one click on a very large surface area. That's sometimes referred to as sensitivity, but that's not quite accurate. What should the count per second reading from this instrument be? It peaks at 45 counts per second for cesium-137, a test source, I'm assuming. Is it really close to the meter or 10 feet away? It could be the same number and just be close or far, depending on how sensitive it is, what surface area it is, what methodology it uses, etc. No, I don't really think it would be far away, but you get the idea. If it's 20 feet away and you're getting that kind of activity, I don't recommend having that source anymore. What would 15 to 20 counts per second mean? I have no idea. How far are you away from whatever you're testing? Did you do a differential test where you go around the room seeing where it may be coming from? Did you get right on top of it to get the max count? Does it have the ability to change sensitivity? Can you exclude alpha, beta, and gamma? I mean, if you can do beta and gamma, and you have a general click counter, you could then differentiate alpha, beta, and gamma. Do you want to use a spectrum analyzer that picks up exactly what the element is that you're dealing with that's doing it? Because that's important. Different elements produce different spikes across a spectrum, if you will, for the different signal sources. My answer to you is I can't answer this because I don't have enough information and I'm not qualified to do this. You would need to have this taken in to make sure it's calibrated. My advice is to do what I tell everybody to do when they get a radiation detector or a radio signal detector. Walk around and see what's normal in your area. Understand that that is normal. If it was abnormal, you wouldn't be the first to discover it. And I want to point out, let's go back to the Havana syndrome thing. At a location like a diplomatic immune location controlled by the U.S. government in the middle of Havana, Cuba, don't you think they'd have radio shielding up to keep you from putting in listening devices or bugs? Yeah, I pointed that out in the video as well. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. I hope this video has been useful to some of you.